Hi, I'm David.
Hi, I'm Jelena.
Welcome to our tutorial on Utthita Trikonasana B. Utthita means extended, Trikonasana is triangle, and B is B.
Well, that's so good that you clarified.
Yeah, well, no. Sometimes it's called pravrita, revolved, which it is pravrita. It is a twist, but we don't, in Ashtanga, we don't call it pravrita. We just call it B. It's actually another Ashtanga fact. It's not in Yogamala, Pattabhi Joyce's book from 1959, originally written then, because it was added in later on. Somebody in the comments, if you know, you can let us know when it was added in exactly.
We don't know.
We don't know. Speaking of comments, if you like this, let us know. If you don't, feel free to just skip the comment part. Like the video. Share.
Comment.
I just said comment.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Okay. And then share.
Yeah.
And subscribe.
That's it. Yeah. Can you tell we're a little bit rusty? So we're in a different space than our studio. We're changing our studios now. So we're with our incredible production company right now, videographer, and we're in her studio, their studio.
And we just came back from vacation, so we're stupid at the moment.
All right, but it's gonna pick up.
All right, let's pick up.
All right. So we're gonna tell you some things that maybe are different than what you've been taught. We come up against this a lot with this pose, with twists in general. So bear with us, and we'll try to explain why we're telling you that.
And just remember again that there's many schools and traditions of yoga, and so there's many different ways to do something that's quite similar. So what we're teaching you or what we're showing you today is very specific to Ashtanga yoga in the parampara that we are part of, and that's it. That's all.
And that lineage is Sri Sharat Joyce in Mysore. He's always been my teacher. We go there annually to study with him. Okay, so Utthita Trikonasana A comes before B in Ashtanga. And this is the foot position for A. This is Ekam, the first step out to the side with the inhale. And then Dwe, on the exhale, we turn one foot and come down and catch the big toe. We've actually got a tutorial on Utthita Trikonasana A. You can check that out. And then inhale, come up. So this is the way that we would do A, but it's also the exact same foot position for B. There's no difference in the way that we set up the feet for A and B. So B, just that right foot turns, and then the left hand comes to the outside of the right foot. The left foot didn't change. Okay, and then inhale, Trini, you come up. Chatwari, left side, just the left foot changes, right hand outside. And then Pancha, inhale, come all the way back up. You come up into the feet parallel position where you started with the Ekam. And then exhale back to Samastiti. This is the Vinyasa. And inside of the Vinyasa, we're given Tristanam, those 3 places of attention. Those are the cues, the information that we're using to determine the posture and how to get in and out of it, how many breaths to take, stuff like that. Right?
Yep, that's right.
Okay, so the thing I was talking about here that is going to be a clarification is that foot position, but we'll get into more detail about that down the road. First, let's talk about the distance between the feet. That's given to us in parampara, in tradition. It's 3 feet between the heels when you step out to the side. That's 3 of your own feet, okay? So 3 of your own feet, more or less. And then you'll get a better idea when you come into the posture if that's the correct distance for you. But it's a good guideline to start. And then the feet are parallel. I call this starfish pose sometimes. So this is Ekam. And then on Dwe, so just that right foot is going to turn. Look at this little fancy footwork that Jelena does. You know, she was a dancer, so you can see it here. See, she's going to turn the right foot out a little bit and then the heel in. So she ends up heel to arch. So this is a little bit tricky if you're a beginner. If you're a beginner, I would recommend maybe just pivoting on the heel so that there's more sort of width, between your feet, you'll get more of a base. It's easier to balance. But if you've been doing this a while, you feel confident, then you're going to turn the foot out and then the heel in, so you end up heel to arch. Okay? And then, trying to keep this leg straight, just do your best. Keeping that foot turned out, you're going to turn your body to the side. So see how Jelena turned her chest towards me? But when you do that, make sure that you don't turn this thigh or this knee in. That will torque your knee. So you want to keep the outside of the foot grounded. Don't even think about bringing that back hip forward. Just keep the back hip back, the left hip back, just the chest turns. And then don't think about twisting any deeper. Just come forward halfway down towards the floor. And then bring that left hand down. And then as you turn your head to look towards the drishti, hastagrai, the tip of the hand, that's where you'll complete the twist. And then inhale, trini, you come back up. Back into your starfish, the feet parallel. So watch again. Exhale, chitwari, just the left foot turns, and she did that fancy thing again where the heel is to the arch. She turns the chest, does a half fold down, and then the hand comes to the floor, and the twist is completed at the end. And she's keeping this hip back by pressing down through the outside of the foot and keeping the back thigh externally rotated. And that keeps the hips level. The reason we want to do that is so we get the twist here in the thoracic spine, and we're not putting any twisting pressure around the lumbar spine or the sacrum, like that. Okay? All right. And then here's another little tip that we have with those arms. You're not going to change your arm position when you do Trikonasana, either one. Mm-hmm. The arms stay straight out to the side. So there's no reason to do this kind of stuff. Oh, I know you want to. I know it looks more graceful. But really, it's much more efficient, and it makes more sense, unless there's somebody standing beside you, to just move your arms in line and then keep them in line as you complete the posture. Do you see that? And we always see people doing this too, using that top hand to check the hips. I know why. You do that to keep the hips flat, which, as we mentioned, is a good cue. But, you want to sort of, maybe you use that a little bit, and then once you get the idea of keeping the hips flat, then you stop moving that hand back there. Okay, and then inhale, pancha, come all the way back up. And exhale, samastiti. So, that was... It was like a whirlwind of Trikonasana B.
It's a lot of information.
Was it a lot?
I think so, but good.
Useful. Yeah, was it
but
too
I'm
condensed?
Biased. Who am I? Who am I to praise you?
Well, it's nice to hear that. Anything to add?
So just do all those tips that David mentioned, kind of at first break down the movement the way I did it. And then over time, you don't have to be so robotic about it where you twist the body and then you fold and then the hand. Over time, it becomes more fluid. But if you can break it down at first, it helps you understand and kind of isolate which body parts do what. Mm-hmm. And then from there, you can find kind of more depth. When you reach the floor with your hand, you can kind of resist through that arm to increase the twist. You can push back through your lower belly to kind of square the hips more. Oh, yeah. That's one of my favorite tips. So I always think about pulling in through the belly and shifting the weight back as I go down as a way to maintain level hips.
Mm-hmm. What about if you can't get your hand to the floor? And we see that a lot when the hamstrings are a bit shorter, maybe, they're still stretching out, opening, and it's a tricky pose. So, don't be sad if you find it really challenging, because I still find it challenging too. So we see this a lot, and balance is challenged. So I mentioned not to bother doing the fancy foot position, because you'll be more stable with the feet wider apart like that. But also the hand on the foot is fine. Or you could even bend that front knee a little bit to get a little bit lower down. And maybe you can get the fingertips to the outside of the foot. But if you need to, on the inside is fine too. Wherever you can do it at first, right? And through repetition, then your hamstrings are going to change and it'll start to get deeper.
And another balance tip is just make the movement of the head come after you've actually stopped moving the body. So don't try to fold forward, go into the twist, and move your head at once. Keep the gaze fixed on the floor, come into the position, and then when you feel stable, then see if you can slowly move your head. All right.
That's it?
That's it.
Okay. All right. Thanks so much for joining us. I hope you liked it. Let us know if you did by liking it, and then commenting and subscribing. See you soon.
Bye.